Trump is supporting January 6th now. I remember that January 6th, it was a bunch of Republicans believing Trump. I feel like they thought Trump was a god. People got arrested. I think one officer died afterwards. That was a big day.
The study found that these Democrat-leaning kids were about 9 times more likely to express negative emotions about Donald Trump than Republican-leaning kids were about Kamala Harris.
That's CNN's Anderson Cooper 360 running a segment where they interview children about their political opinions and having it backfire immensely when they realize that the intolerant ones come from households supporting Kamala Harris. Welcome to Nerk News, I'm Nerkish, and for reasons only it can explain, CNN decided to do a research project about what 10-year-olds think about Donald Trump and Kamala Harris and their supporters. Watch as these pretend journalists discover and then try to dismiss what anyone with a shred of common sense could have anticipated.
Overall, the biggest finding, the children in the study were polarized, with what researchers called more extreme responses from the blue state kids than the red state kids.
Donald Trump, he did bad things. He's like Hitler.
He only wanted to be president so that he can just control everybody.
Trump is supporting January 6th now. I remember that January 6th, it was a bunch of Republicans believing Trump. I feel like they thought Trump was a god. People got arrested. I think one officer died afterwards. That was a big day.
The study found that these Democrat-leaning kids were about 9 times more likely to express negative emotions about Donald Trump than Republican-leaning kids were about Kamala Harris. Why might that be? Psychologist Ashley Landrum has some ideas.
So Donald Trump is a very polarizing figure, and it's very possible that the kids are reacting to their parents reacting to Donald Trump being a very different kind of political figure than what we've seen before. So do the red state kids hold as strong of attitudes? Well, not when we're talking about Kamala Harris. In part, that could be because they don't know that much about her.
You've got to love how CNN is acting like this is such a mystery, but the fact of the matter is we already know the modern left is closed-minded. Studies have repeatedly shown that the left is less able to understand the right's point of view and is more intolerant as a result. Similarly, Republicans have more friends across the political divide than Democrats, and conservative college students are more tolerant than their liberal peers, who, by the way, have been found in other studies to be more likely to despise their opposition.
Landrum was also curious about how kids saw their peers in the political divide.
So, do you think that the kids that live in those 2 houses would be friends with each other?
They can. There's no law breaking that.
It doesn't matter if you are different by skin color, or it doesn't matter if you are different by people. You can still be friends.
The study found that Republican-leaning kids were more open to visiting a Democrat-supporting household. The Democrat-leaning kids were about 5 times more likely to say they would not want to go to a pro-Trump house.
Would they be okay with you going over to somebody's house who is really supportive of President Trump?
No.
No? And why not?
Because they know that he's not like black people, so they will not be happy to see me.
Would your family let you go over to somebody's house who's really supportive of Donald Trump?
No.
No, they wouldn't?
No.
And why not?
Because like my mom and dad don't like Donald Trump at all. Not a single bit.
Would you be okay going over to somebody's house whose family really likes Kamala Harris?
I think it'd be fine. It's just about the personality of the people.
Well, isn't it funny that the same people who call conservatives a cult and attack Christians for indoctrinating their children with hateful ideology have children of their own regurgitating propaganda like they belong in the Soviet Union? I mean, I genuinely feel bad for those kids, because they should be enjoying life and being children, not dealing with the weight of all their parents' political hang-ups. But let me know what you think. Which side is more tolerant of political disagreements? Republicans or Democrats? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. That stuff really does help us out. Until then, this has been Nerk News. Thanks for watching. Bye!